URLs. Even though as developers we consider them as an address to reach a specific website, they actually serve as a very powerful marketing tool when it comes to your personal brand, personal portfolio, or your personal website. The URL is essentially the cherry on the cake. Or shall I say, the cherry on the website. In this video, I'm going to tell you my top 5 hacks for making your URL stand out and for you to become more unique. But before I give you the 5 hacks, I want to spit some URL facts at you. You heard the rhyme? Good, so let's get started. I think we need to start easy, and I'm going to treat this almost like a quiz. When was the first website created? Let's have a little countdown timer. And 1985. You got that right? Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, the first website was called symbolics.com, and it was owned by a computer manufacturing company. Now, on to the next fact. Did you know that the .com domain that we see everywhere and it's become the most boring thing in the world, there is 160 million websites that have a .com URL actively registered, and they all end in .com. 160 million of them. Do you know how much 160 million is? It's like 160 million seals or 160 million plant pots on your windowsill. Wow, Jet the editor is gonna have fun with this. Now, the last fact I have for you is the longest domain name in the world. I have been practicing this. All right. Landfer Gogerschuweren Landfer Gwyn Gwyn Oker go.
Clan via peth gwyngyth gigerithwyn drobythlyn tysilio gogogog. Clan via peth gwyngyth gigerithwyn drobythlyn tysilio gogogog.
Oh, hell no. Now, I'm going to attempt this, and also Jed will have fun editing this in. Lanfer pwanglang giliang gyongo girgishindiran drumbam balamanti silong gogogogo chuchuchap.org.uk. Yes, that is a real domain name. You can actually type it in, and it's a place in Wales. It's also one of the longest signs in the world. Maybe rather than me pronouncing it, I should leave it up to the pro.
Clan by the push gwingish go get a quin drobble, clan to Cilio go.
Well, now that I've educated you with some facts, I think it's the right time to move on to some hacks, because I know you guys are waiting for this, and I'm very excited to share it with you. Now, hack number 1 for making your domains stand out. Now, when we think about domains, it is a reflection of our brand and of who we are. Now, let me give you a really interesting example here, because I feel like a lot of you watching this, you'll be quite familiar with this feeling when you first saw a website like this and the things you thought. Now, we're not trying to be judgmental here. If someone sends you a website and it's the github.io ending of a website, you automatically know, well, they don't have a personal domain. They're probably just starting out in engineering and they've built one of their first websites, right? Now, on the contrary, if you have a website which is like johnsmith.bio, like .bio is like, hey, learn more about me. Here's like everything cool that I ever did. And so suddenly you get this like different impression. Imagine myself, right? I'm really into creative portfolios. I've got this amazing creative website that I'm promoting myself on, maybe my marketing agency or something like this. And suddenly I send a link to a client and it's like, oh yeah, mensoy.github.io. It's not gonna stand out as a brand. So it's really important to kind of consider the branding aspect of who you are, how you work with your URL. Shorter domains with a nice snappy ending have some kind of reflection on who you are. Well, they also fit better on a business card. They also look nicer on a resume. Weirdly, people prefer to click on a nicer domain. Like getting a right domain that's attractive, that's appealing, that reflects of who you are, I think is very, very important. URL hack number 2, standing out with uncommon top-level domains. Like I said in the first fact that I introduced to you, there is 160 million .com domains. Now, what about .net domains? What about .org domains? What about .co.uk? Or any domain that represents the country that the domain comes from, or being a company, or being an organization? Those top-level domains, they seem boring. They're not fun. They don't reflect of who you are. I remember at one point, even though, dev is kind of cool, It's overhyped. It used to be hyped up when it came out. It's gone now. It's like if you see a .io domain, you're like, oh, it's a startup. If you see a .net domain, you're like, it's just like absolute like, I don't even know what it is. If you see a domain like .ai, for example, which is very popular now, you're like, oh yeah, this is an AI company. Like, because that is the trend to do it. If you see a .bio domain, which is becoming super popular now, it's like this guy is talking about himself. And this guy is representing his own company, his own brand. These top-level domains, they're much more striking. They're like the first impression is like, oh, yeah, I know. And when you get that first impression, you know that's when your domain is doing its thing, you know? It's doing its thing. Now, the other thing with domain names that I often struggled with is availability. Now, finding the perfect domain, finding the perfect name, and then typing it in on Google and being like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this. And then suddenly it's absolutely not available everywhere. And if you want to buy it from a third party, you're going to pay absolutely a humongous amount to get it. And then you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And therefore you start to niche down. But actually, sometimes keeping your name and getting a different ending to the domain is much more beneficial. Your brand stays the same. Your values you want to portray through that name stay the same. What it does, it allows you to narrow down on your niche. And really now there's so much on the internet that you have to scale down and create a niche and show that you're good in that niche to then explode and be recognizable. Hack number 3, avoid cluttered URLs. This one is really important because if you pick a URL that is super impractical, you will struggle. Let me give you an example. Very often when you want to sound professional and you want to have a brand around your URL, not only your URL, but also you will create an email based off your URL. Something like hello@yourdomainname.bio, for example. God forbid, all right? God forbid that you create something that is super long, cluttered, convoluted, not understandable, because first of all, if you ever want to tell someone how to access your page by spelling it out, saying it on the phone, or what's even worse, is giving someone your email over the phone, you're going to have to learn the whole phonetic alphabet. To guarantee that they get it right, I wouldn't. Please, 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 under all developer rules, avoid cluttered URLs. Hack number 4. SEO benefits. Oh my god, the amount of developers that don't think about SEO when they design their page and they want to create a brand is like scary. Like, I know, our writing skills and the engineers is like not our thing, and it's not the vibe, and it's not the jive, and it's not the thing we want to do, but it's so important and we have to be good at it. Now, the SEO of a domain, super important. It's the first thing someone will write into Google. And if they get your website right, it will probably render your result as the first thing on the Google search result page. A personalized domain name often ranks much better for name-based searches, and you get much better click-through rates when they align with the search intent of the user. So please think about SEO and make sure that when you pick your domain, you reference it on your site, but also make sure that it's meaningful and it targets a specific niche. The 5th and the last URL hack that I have for you guys today is to show intentionality with your URL. Now, a unique URL, like for myself, a developerfilip.bio, it shows investment in your brand, in yourself, and what you're offering. Now, I think a great domain, for example, like the .bio that I have, it really allows your audience to be directed to other places that you may want them to visit. This is great for anyone. Let me base it on my example. I'm a content creator. I have a lot of platforms. I have YouTube, I have another YouTube, I have my personal website, my marketing agency, my Twitter, my Instagram, TikTok. There is a lot. And I want people to know about all these things, right? Now, a really nice domain gives value because I can direct people to one domain and then I can direct them to multiple sites. What I'm doing here is I'm intentionally crafting a really nice bespoke experience for my followers to be able to find everything that they need. As part of your brand, you really need to offer a nice discovery phase. Now, how are they going to learn about your other platforms? How they're going to see the latest promo videos that you have or the latest pictures? You need to have a beautiful page to also show that. And you need to have a beautiful URL that directs that and gives intent. Now, the reason I chose .bio for myself, because I wanted to direct my audience into a really nice page that gives them all my socials. And I did that with what's called a link universe by Dynadot. Now, the reason I picked them because, well, they offer really nice customization, but they're super minimalistic. At one point, these pages that navigate you somewhere else, they got too complex. It's like everything is everywhere. I want simplicity. The journey is important. I want someone to click my link. They know it's about me. They know they're probably going to find more links because of the .bio, because it's a very nicely picked domain for the intent that I wanted to have. And then they can navigate somewhere else. And the journey should be as fast as possible, from A to Z in a few clicks. And I want them to be there because I want to drive the traffic, I want to drive the conversions, I want to build my brand, I want them to discover more about me, and my intent is for them to go and find more and learn more about me and become more interested in me. And this applies to everything. This is why intent and creating a URL that shows intentionality is so important. Now, these are the 5 hacks that I had for you today. I hope you've learned from them, and I hope you're going to apply them to the next website that you build, or even into the website that you currently have today. Now, it's super easy to do that. If you don't have a URL yet, I suggest that you go visit Dynadot and get your URL. It's cheap, it's simple to do, and you can also connect it directly to your link universe. Just make sure you click the link in the description to get all the benefits. And as always, guys, if you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment because you love me. And I'll see you in the next video.